Clive, you're back.
I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you right now.
We had a stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It is good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Wouldn't dream of it. Otto. Any word on the Royalist movements since I've been away?
Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian.
Thank you. I will.
Ah, the conquering hero returns. And with hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up one or two.
Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident physiker suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same. But whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, he took them to his grave. As did his men. Slaughtered by the orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in Storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map? The Kingdom of Waloed claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War of Independence in 849. The Battle of the Twin Realms in 865. The Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Waloed shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang, only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Waloed? It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. We have not seen the last of the Waluda standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the Royalists betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw, especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider it the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
And how may I assist you today? So what of its parliament? Which leaves but one man. What is it that you wish to learn? Very good.
Well,
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
no more looking over our shoulders then. Good. I'm starting to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though. Is it business or pleasure? It's a relief. Thank you, Clive. Coin purse weighing you down? Is that all?
It's the state of our coffers.
Blackthorn,
What is it? I'm busy.
I wanted to tell you that...
I can't tell you. This is it then, under a new Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
What do you need? Do a bloody riddance. Mine included. Not saying fortune, do you? Should last you a good while. And?
Clive, have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oh my. Can it really be true?
Look, he's crying. He is. The big baby.
And with good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, Ultima came to me. I need to know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, no. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him. With my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
Is there something I might assist you with, Clive? I have said it many times. His story is ended. Were you aware but what of the twins themselves? Yes, change will come. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them. What subject shall we consider today?
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips. Hugo Kupka is dead.
We're seeing troops amassing at every border crossing.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
So, the Professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though. Everyone was glad to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing. Not least of all Sid. You should tell him.
You're right. I should. And I will.
Well, when you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going at it hammer and tong down in that workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well. I'll suggest it.
Clive! It was luck, and... But now... Thank you. Anything catch your eye? Seen enough? Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye?
Good day to you.
The crystals we get from the tailor are all but worthless.
We had to dig a new cellar.
Ah, Clive. Your timing is exquisite, as always.
Go on.
There are whisperings afoot of shadowy figures having been rustlings in the undergrowth, suspicious noises. My people fear it may be no more than a surfeit of nerves, understandable in the current climate, or, given what I hope you'll forgive me calling your nose for trouble, I wondered if you might investigate.
Of course.
Excellent. You might begin by speaking with the good citizens of Lostwing. Listen to their tales, and make what...
All right. Right. Let's see what the people of the village have to say. I'd better find out if this is just nerves, or something we need to take more seriously.
Word is, the Black Shields took a hiding. There is the old duck.
Excuse me. Quentin mentioned strange figures having been sighted near the village. Have you seen anything?
Nah, not me, Gov. I heard the rumours. I'm here most days, right next to the gate, and I ain't seen nothing out of the ordinary. Don't worry. Any shady characters try and slip into town this way, and I'll soon come running.
All right. Do you have a moment? There's talk of suspicious figures in the woods. Have you seen anything out of the...
No, but I've heard something. Sound of scraping metal, like someone sharpening a...
Where was this?
In Lorbert's Pass. Was out foraging for herbs when I heard it. Screeching out from between the trees. Ran back here as quick as my legs would carry me. And I ain't been back since.
I see. I'll look at... Seems Lorbert's Pass is our best bet, then. What do you say, Torgal? Shall we go and investigate?
You there. Fuck! He's seen us. Get them before they escape!
Black Shields. Here. What the hell are you doing here?
What is it to you? Not that we give a damn. What matters to us is that you don't leave here alive.
Why were they here? Were they planning an attack on Lostwing? I need to warn Quentin.
Clive, how goes the hunt for our sinister figures?
I found some Black Shields hiding near Lorbert's Pass. They're gone now.
Black Shields. The Empress's former bloodhounds. Though they serve another master now. One who means to root out and destroy both me and those I care for. And it would appear the pack has finally caught the scent of its prey. Damn it all. I had hoped I would have more time than this. More time to prepare. But if we are cornered, we have no choice but to bite back. And bite back we shall.
I'm sorry. You're going to need to explain. Who did the Black Shield serve now? And why would that person want you dead?
Because I want him dead.
Who?
The former Lord Chief Justice of Sanbreque. All that I have built here is for him.
I don't understand. Why him? Why Lostwing?
I suppose it is better that you know the truth. I was a member of the judiciary once. So sickened was I by the injustice of this world, I swore to fight it. And fight it I did, in my own small way. I saw more than a few corrupt officials condemned to the very cells into which they had thrown blameless innocents. Men to whom the law was but a scourge to turn against the powerless. And throughout, it was the Lord Chief Justice who backed me, who was my one true ally in the quest to see justice done.
So what changed?
I discovered that he hunted bearers for sport. I was a fool to think he shared my hatred of venality and vice. His support for me was no more than a facade. A means of ridding himself of his rivals, a mask to hide the rot beneath. I filed suit against him immediately. His response, however, was rather more visceral. He had my entire family slaughtered, and he faced no punishment whatsoever. I lost everything. My loved ones, my livelihood, my position, the faith I had once held that any modicum of justice might be achieved through the courts. So I set about enacting my own. I tracked down every soul who served him, and slit their throats myself. But the man himself proved an altogether more difficult target. With money and power come protection. And so I saw that I would need an army of my own. I came here to Lostwing and began recruiting like-minded individuals.
And everyone here knows this is why you do what you do.
Of course. They too have lost loved ones to the bearer hunts. Seen faultless friends sent to the gallows to spare the guilty. All under the watchful eye of the Lord Chief Justice. Our wounds are the same. And our cause is the same. We are comrades. And our revenge is already in motion. We know where he hides, how numerous and well-trained his guard. What we did not know until now, however, was that his plans may already be in motion too.
Quentin.
Our time is short. He may move against us at any moment, unless we move against him first. My friends and comrades, it begins. Make ready for war.
I'm not going to change his mind.
Do you see anything you like? I'll be here if you need me.
The finest fabric!
Take a sniff, good sir. Now. There'll be no one to man the shop. Gone, just like that. And without so much as a...
What's the matter?
It's my apprentice. I'd go and look for him myself, but I've got a bakery to run. A bakery that's now short. One, loath though I am to rely on the kindness of strangers, I'm at a loss.
I'll see what I can do.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was off somewhere mooning at Drake's Fang. He used to work there, you see.
All right.
Oh, where did all the men of the rock go?
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Good day, my lord. Fare you well.
Come on.
Yeah!
Mother Crystal.
Thanks, girl. Excuse me.
What do you want?
The baker sent me to find you.
I am a sorry, selfish sod, aren't I? Certainly not a baker. Master must have ruled the day he took me in. Time was the sight of the Fang used to calm my nerves. But now look at her.
I take it you missed the Mother Crystal.
I hated her, but she was all I knew. Worked her mines for years. And when she shattered, part of me shattered with her. I had to trade my pickaxe for a rolling pin, but I'm no good at baking. Every loaf I touch collapses. My bread's as hollow as I am. She was the only thing that could fill the hole inside me. Oh, I loved her, damn it. But now she's gone. She's never coming back. What am I supposed to do? I ask her. How does a shell of a man learn to live again?
Focus on the job at hand. Think about what you can do right now.
What use is proofing loaves when... Wait. Perhaps the solution has been in the bakery all along. You've opened my eyes. Thank you, friend, and fare thee well.
Wait. Suppose you won't be needing an escort then.
Ah, there. No, I worry you.
Master,
Aye.
just a steeple. True, and look, Master...
Not only is my apprentice... I don't know how you did it.
The most fragrant herbs and...
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips.
We're seeing troops amass at every port.
I think Mid might need some help.
If I don't come up with something soon.
All right, Clive? What do you want?
I'm going to visit Sid, and I thought you might like to come with...
Sorry, I'm too busy for all that right now. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal...
Displacement stack. Here.
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen. The Enterprise. Me and my dad designed it together. Where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through the water, ours is fitted with mithril engines. And those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood, and more heat than all the hells put together. Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard in Canva. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up over at the shipyard. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Good old Clive. I were hoping you'd say that. First things first, I need some parts meching. The stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here, that channels hot vapors away from the engine. The helm over the top, that disperses all that heat into the air. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the ship from going up in flames.
A full suit of armor, then. Probably best to take it one piece at a time.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. Everything else fits onto it. I've got the designs and the list of material. Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what to do.
I can't make head nor tail of them.
Luckily, you don't need to.
Blackthorn.
Out with it.
It's for Mid.
This my last chance to say I'm otherwise engaged. Spare myself the arseache. Go on then. What is it this time?
She said you would know. Here.
Krieger's teats. Well, I don't know what the hell you'd want this for, but I can make it. Won't be easy, though. And I'll need help. Get Gav and Otto in here, will you?
All right.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, has she? Typical. Still, if that's what it takes to get her to visit Sid's grave, I'll do what I can.
And, what is it we need to do, exactly?
Take a look at this. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't work. We need something that can get very hot, very fast, and still keep its shape. That means an alloy. Something that won't break or buckle at the temperatures she's talking about. Which is where you lot come in. I need materials, and I've got my work cut out already. You'll have to fetch them. Now, there's a special kind of sand I'm after that you can only find out in the Velcroy. Stardust, they call it. As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply should have it in stock. It just needs buying and bringing back here.
Well, we'll get it done quicker if we split up. One of us should probably give you an hand collecting the sand.
And the other can go and get the rest from this supplier.
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where, and we can get this over with. You going after the Stardust then, are you? Which one of these two lucky souls is going with you?
Gav, you're with me.
All right, then. So, where do we find this Stardust stuff?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Velcroy. It's the black sand that washes up on its banks that you're after.
Southern reaches of the Velcroy, eh? That's down past Dalamil. I'll go and scout the place out. See about hiring us a wagon to bring the stuff back to.
All right. I'll meet you by the river.
While you're off having a paddle, I'll pick up the rest of the stuff from Blackthorn's supplier. Take care.
You two, eh? Don't go letting them fleece you.
Fleece me? I'd like to see him try.
In your own time.
Looks like I found the river. Where's Gav? Sorry to keep you, Gav.
Better late than never. I've had a quick scout about, and I reckon round here's our best bet if we want to grab as much of this Stardust stuff as we can. Don't know what Blackthorn's planning to do with it, though. I asked over in Dalamil, and they seem to think it was worthless. But if Stardust is what Blackthorn wants, Stardust is what he'll get. There's plenty of this stuff lying about, just begging to be bagged.
Then let's get bagging, shall we?
We shall. Race ya.
This is stardust. It just looks like black sand to me. That should be enough for now. Let's see how Gav's getting on.
You finished? How much did you get?
Enough. I hope.
Oh, you win. That might even be enough for old Blackthorn. Hey, before we go, do you mind if we have a chat? Feels like ages since we had the chance to talk. You know, man to man like.
It does, doesn't it?
Back when you first took Sid's name, we were talking all the time. Working out what to do in that.
There was a lot to work out.
And there still is. Those shoulders of yours starting to feel the strain. Hardly ever see you around the hideaway nowadays. Always on some errand or other. You can take a day off, you know.
Says the man who spends most of his time behind enemy lines.
Only 'cause you keep sending me there.
I know I can count on you, Gav.
Likewise. So you keep sending me wherever you need to, and I'll keep going. Safe in the knowledge that I have a home to come back to. Thanks to you. Right. That's enough soppy shite for one day. We'd better get this lot back to Blackthorn before he slings his hammer at someone.
You go on ahead. And try to get some rest once you're there.
Oh, after Blackthorn gets what he needs, of course.
Right. Ready to go home, boy? Blackthorn, got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
We should go out on maneuvers together more often. Or beat sneaking around on your Todd all the time.
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating together then. It'll take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, I could do without you breathing down my neck.
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's underway.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work too.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
Seeing troops amassing at every border.
No surprises there.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Kuka, when I close my... Only I don't know. I wish you were here. Come to claim your just desserts? You earned this. All done? Come up with something soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn's started work on the plate.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name? Right.
Oh, Sid,
Yes.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is excess heat is dealt with by means of the... Now, were we to rely on thermal plating, in other words, the reactor would overheat, and this is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all... Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are... and not only that, why? If sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there. I understand. Mid said we might be able to use parts of a fallen ruin. Where would I find it?
Ah, yes. It's in Lorbert's Pass, near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there. It's no longer a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid. I'll gather my team and head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins.
I'll be taking you all to a storehouse in... the bales. Leave anything you don't need behind.
If you're ready, we leave at once.
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creek.
Of course. Anybody home? This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go.
This one.
The things I do for you, Mid.
Sid!
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is...
All right. I'll let Mid know you...
If I don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena, has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they both the helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even start it. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Harpocrates.
Tomes? Yeah. Well, I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him? See what he makes of it?
Right away.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
Mid hasn't been her usual self lately.
I went up to give some breeze to the chocobo.
Harpocrates, do you have the moment?
For you, Clive, always.
Well, actually, it's for Mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
Shielding for a mithril engine. Whatever will that girl think of? And what are these notes?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink, as you can imagine. She's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obelisk complains that without a constant supply of pitch. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew. It is said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames. Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragon fire.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obelisk might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Harpocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company, too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Always. Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your capable hands, Clive. So, Clive, who will accompany you on your...
All right. So, what are we fetching?
I have taken the liberty of preparing a list. Here.
Garlic? Are you sure this is the right list? Looks like the ingredients for someone's supper.
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely exploited. So much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction. Hence moondew's having... Now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find...
Well, isn't that... I was hoping to be able to make a trip over that way sometime soon. Need to speak to an older...
All right.
See you later, Clive.
Good luck with your research. Now, where's Talia?
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled.
Need to stock up on
I won't have
these.
use.
There you are, Talia.
Ah, and there you are. We shouldn't have any problems finding what we need in a place like this. But if time is of the essence, perhaps we should split up. Take a few items each.
All right. What shall I look for?
Let's see now. Why don't you take the garlic and the pepio nuts? Meet me by the gate when you've got them.
Buy, sell, or be gone. Go on, take it.
How the hell is anyone supposed to afford that?
You haven't much, but you're free to look. Good day.
That should do it. Hopefully Talia's finished too.
Well, did you find...
I did.
Garlic and pepio nuts. We should get this back to Tomes then. He'll be waiting. But we're not in too much of a rush, are we? Quick chat. Do you know, I think this is the very first time we've been out on an errand together.
I think you might be right.
In all the years since you and that scowl of yours first appeared, you haven't invited me out once. For shame.
Well, it seemed long overdue. And you did say you had some shopping to do.
I was hoping to restock my supplies of herbs and liniment, yes. You and Jill alone burned through them like wildfire. No luck, though. My usual supplier's not here, and I refuse to pay the prices these gougers charge.
I'll ask Karen when we get back. What is it?
Oh, just memories. I came here with Sid once, shopping for supplies, just like today. And just like today, I came away empty-handed. Sid even said he'd speak to Karen for me when we got back. Has it really been 5 years? I remember it as if it was yesterday. Hold on. Does that mean it's been 5 years since we met? Feels a lot longer.
It does. In a good way, of course. Thank you, Tyre.
For what?
For everything. I just want you to know that all you've done for us, all you still do, it's appreciated.
Do you think I'd stick around if I thought it wasn't? But in the spirit of sharing and caring, you're appreciated too, by all of us. Well, I think we've tarried long enough. I ought to get these ingredients back to Tome so he can make up this concoction of his. I'll meet you back at the hideaway, all right?
All right. And thanks again.
I heard you the first time.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Hippocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Tarja how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course.
Oh, and Clive. It was good to talk. We should do it again sometime.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Hippocrates. Well, I'd better go and give Mid the good news then.
How good it is to see you, Clive. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. You wish to study the tomes?
daughter's started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid, but you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Hippocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat. A coating that is supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me.
Right then, better start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer!
You know, when I got into the smithing game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Same difference. Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way!
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is going to require some precision walloping.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's one down and just 3 more to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
You don't mean...
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off, my gang in Canva can build the rest.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores unknown, searching for a land untouched by the Blight. Just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the Twins turned black... That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we need it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want her to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually...
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
All right. My mind's made. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans. I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave when...
I was. And you can come too, now that you're little.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be...
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Is that the thing Tomes helped?
crack the crystal too? You're joking.
Hopefully it's nothing. But I should speak to Blackthorn just in case. What could be wrong with Torgor? Trouble with the ledgers. Shouldn't he be asking Otto for... I got your note. You think something's wrong with Torgor?
So you can read. I didn't say I were wrong with him. I said something weren't right. He's not been eating me treats. He used to love cracking the bones from Molly's boiled brown, but now he won't so much as look at them. Didn't like him. Which is why I'm of a mind that his mind's on something else. You've not been working him too hard, have you?
No harder than usual. Is that it, boy? Do you need a rest?
What was it you said he was? A frost wolf?
That's what the lawsman seems to think.
Then maybe this all has something to do with whatever it is that's woken inside.
I suppose things have been different since Rosalith. Perhaps Hippocrates knows something.
Instead of everything, you mean?
Blackthorn.
Not really, no.
This won't take long. I just wanted to ask how you're getting on. And you might still be doubting your craft, even after learning the trick of that cuirass. Perhaps sharing your thoughts might help.
That bastard's like a dog with a bone. Still, he's got a keen eye, I'll give him that.
And that was?
A sword. An odd-looking thing with a single-edged blade. The metal itself wasn't anything to write home about, but fuck me. You could slice a man clean in two with a weapon like that, and he'd be halfway home before he even realised he'd be...
So that's what's troubling you?
Nah. Not troubling me exactly. More distracting. Can't stop thinking.
And if you knew how to do it, we could arm the curse breakers with even better blades.
That's about the size of it.
I'll see what I can find out. Sharper swords are always welcome. And we can't have our master blacksmith being distracted.
You're a soft touch, you know that. But I can't say I'm not grateful for it. Good luck, eh?
Thank you. Let's see what Karen knows about this sword. You're looking well, Karen.
What do you want?
I want to know about the sword you showed Blackthorn. Single-edged.
Running around after him again, are you?
I suppose I am, yes. But I need to help him find out how to work an edge.
Little wonder, I suppose. There's not many like that make it as far as the twins, and those that do go straight in, which made it nice and easy finding a back.
Can you tell me who bought it? Where is it now?
You think I tell people who my clients are? Suppose you're not likely to go nicking him off me, are you now? Fine. If you stop Lord Ignac's the man you want. Dalmekian bloke. Collects weapons, and he's got more money than sense, which is why he's one of my favourite. Reckon he'll still be at the inn in Dalamil, where I left him.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh. And he's a touch...
I appreciate the warning. Lawsman, I need to ask you about Torgor.
He isn't ill, is he?
I don't think so. But according to Lady Karen, he seems to have lost his appetite. She says he's hardly been touching his bones of late, and she believes it may have something to do with what happened at Rosalith Castle.
I rather think she might be right, though not about his appetite. All canids are instinctively inclined to crack open bones for the rich marrow that resides within, and I see no reason why a frost wolf should be any different. Accordingly, I suspect it is not if we assume that his newfound magics require additional nourishment to sustain. It may well be that the bones Lady Karen is accustomed to providing are no longer sufficient. Frost wolves, after all, habitually prey upon far larger animals, whose bones may yield altogether as to where one might find a suitable substitute. Some antelopes that graze the meadows of eastern...
I don't recall ever seeing any that large.
And little wonder. The oldest and largest such creatures rarely leave the safety of the highlands for... The last elder antelope sighting I recall hearing about took place near Cressid.
Even so, it seems like a good place to start.
Good hunting, Clive.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
Ned told me she was building a ship.
Really? That's a ship. Let's sail it up.
Clive, did you get my letter?
That's why I'm here.
Shh. Otto won't be listening.
Is this better?
A little. Listen. I've some bad news. It turns out the hide, and it's maybe my fault, but I swear to the goddess, sadly, that square turned out to be more of a... I can straighten it out, I swear, but it's gonna take some time. I'm gonna need help keeping it from Otto.
Be late for that, I'd say.
There you are! What a surprise!
So let me get this straight. You forget to pay our lenders what they... And instead of coming straight to me, you get Clive to come to you. And I hope he'll dig you out of the hole. The man in charge of the place you've been cheerfully trying to bankrupt. And you thought this well?
Oh, just Martha. And the dame.
We owe 3 of our most trusted friends 5 million gil.
Each. 5 million. They lent us the bulk of the money we used to rebuild the hideaway, you see, and, well, I must have...
Those ledgers were my responsibility.
We have that much to hand? I can always ask my uncle.
No, we don't. And no, you won't. After the king's ransom we had off him, he deserves better than to see our begging bowl. Besides, we'll need to learn to stand on our own if...
All right. But that doesn't mean you have to shoulder the burden yourself. Is there anything I can do to help?
There might be. How'd you fancy taking these to Martha?
Rocks.
Rocks, he says. Worth a little something Sid and I set aside for... when times... And I reckon 15 million in overdue debt probably qualifies. I just hope our associates are.
I'm sure there will be.
Should be me making the rounds, really. But you know how it is with this place. Orders to bark, arses to wipe, and all that.
I know. Which is why I don't mind going in your place.
Go. Do you know why I only gave Master Clive here 2 star rubies?
Because you'd rather Lady Karen...
Because I'd rather Lady Karen killed you. Yes.
Well, I suppose this is good.
Don't worry. I'm sure
Really? Do you think...
No.
Mid might need some help.
Well. Here, Sid. Reckon you might be just the man to help me out.
Let's hear it.
Well, it's about this alembic. Lovely bit of kit, it is. Bunging a solution you want splitting. Problem is, it won't always get rid of all the impurities. Which is why I've been looking for something to filter the liquid we'll be cooking off.
I imagine Ty could get some use out of this alembic too. Distilling medicines and the like. All right. Why not?
Proper job.
So what exactly do you need for this filter?
Nothing but bomb ash'll do, says the chief. Gave me a sample she'd obtained from the university stores. You pour the blackest blight water through it, and it comes out clear as a... So, I did a bit of reading about where I might be able to get up, and do you know what I found out? It's only the blimmin' bones of a bomb king.
I take it that's where I come in.
I saw a billet on the hunt board for one just the other day. Would have gone myself, but, well, fighting dirty great balls of flame ain't exact...
All right.
Thank you kindly.
People take notice of wealthy men. Shouldn't be too hard to track down Karen's collector.
The whole mother crystal's gone. What are we gonna do?
Calm yourself. We don't know for sure. It could have just been a
My reputation will be ruined! Ruined!
Calm yourself, Lord Ignac, I beg of you, before you do yourself.
Pardon the intrusion.
Out! Get out! I paid for these rooms so I wouldn't be disturbed. Leave me!
Please, allow me to apologize. His lordship is going through a difficult time, and he's never been fond of guests arriving.
Radim! Get rid of the filthy oaf this instant!
Very good, Lord Ignac. Would you mind stepping outside for a moment?
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
That? Oh, no. That's just how his lordship is. Though he has been dispossessed of his luggage, you see. The thieves also made away with a considerable amount of coin.
I don't suppose a certain blade was among the stolen items. A single-edged sword. It was purchased from a...
Ah, you know Lady Karen.
Then I'll retrieve Lord Ignac's luggage. But I have one condition.
You have but to state it. You are welcome to anything that...
I want an audience with Lord Ignac. A few minutes should be enough.
A condition I would be a fool to refuse.
I don't suppose you saw where the thieves went.
I did not, no. Though some discreet inquiries made on every ill-gotten coin in Dalamil is said to pass through
And that's where I'm heading.
I shall speak to Lord Ignac in your absence.
That will be very kind of you.
Farewell.
Ready, go? Run like the wind. Got company! Come on, lads, let's tear the bastard's head off!
This must be Ignac's luggage. Nothing seems to be damaged. All right.
I hear I have you to thank for the return of my effects. What shall I call you, my good man?
Wyvern. Glad to make your acquaintance.
A formidable name indeed. Well, Wyvern, I appear to be... Redeem here tells me you wished for an audience.
A few moments of your time should suffice, yes.
You're a peculiar fellow, Wyvern. Master Wyvern was wondering if you could tell him about a certain single-edged sword.
Oh, a true work of art, that one. Karen drove me hard on the price, but I would have sold her Radim here to get my hands on that sword. It was made in the Outer Isles and is used exclusively by the practitioners of a... They believe no combat should ever exceed a single strike. Each sword is made for that one perfect stroke, and for that there's a brutal sort of beauty.
But how do they hone such an edge?
Why, they use a whetstone, of course. Whetstones, rather. A whole array of them, ranging from the coarse to the fine. 10,000. But it is the final stone which lends the blade a mineral quite foreign. And that is the key. Wyvern, it occurs to me that my little lecture is hardly equal to services. Take this, together with my the very stone of which I spoke. Far rarer among and a far more fitting.
Thank you.
Pardon the intrusion, my lordship. However, it is long past time we...
I am locked in bitter competition with a rival collector of curios. I am one step ahead of the unscrupulous.
And there are many other collectors out there.
Too many to count, but only one do I consider my nemesis. Lorcan is a perennial thorn in my side. Farewell, Wyvern. May our paths cross again. Radim, we mustn't...
I think his lordship is rather taken with you, Master Wyvern. Thank you. Coming, my lordship.
Trust Uncle Byron to find such an interesting now. Let's see what Black... Sorry for the wait. But hopefully he'll agree it was worth it.
You learned something about that sword, then?
I did better than that.
Hey, a whetstone?
Yes. But not...
No wonder I couldn't get the same finish on the grinding. One hit and all that might not be so bad if all you ever forward. Good luck on the battlefield. Your second opponent would be your last number.
Even so, is there...
I think so, yeah. With this whetstone and the right kind of steel, I could probably even... But there'd be no replacing this little rock once I worn it down to a sliver. I reckon we get a dozen swords from it, if that. Swords that the curse breakers wouldn't know how to wield properly, and that would see them... Nah. No point trying to copy that thing. Be about as much use as a wax anvil. But finishing our blades with a whetstone this fine. Now that's something to consider. And what's finer than fallen masonry, eh? Or more hard-wearing, for that matter. Just imagine it. Good Valisthian steel with an... I won't make a copy, nah. I'll make...
I'm sure the curse breakers will beat it. Just...
Don't you worry about... I've been working day and night since I was half your age. And I'll still be here when you're long gone. Hey, thanks, Clive. I owe you one. August 2. It's good to know someone's looking out for me.
You'll be happy to hear you said that.
And I'll see that my debt to you's paid. First new blade I make's got your name on it. You come and find me when you've got the materials.
All right?
What do you need? Not saying Fordian, do you?
Greetings, Your Majesty. Your reign is over. Now to collect the ash. This looks like the stuff. Let's see if there's any more. That should do it. If the wine needs more than this, he can fetch it himself.
There's talk that the glass gate flood.
Did you hear? The gates to heaven.
I want to see. It's all right.
What am I going to do without Sweetwater and oil of talc?
Milady.
Gifts? Oh, my.
Otto asked me to give it to you to settle the Hideaway's debt with the veil and to compensate you for the time.
I thought you might finally be warming.
Tell Otto he can keep his baubles. I tried to... The man owes me nothing. My contribution to the restoration effort was made freely and willingly. It was the least...
You once told me Sid did you a kindness. I'd like to do the same. Please. And for Otto's. For all of us.
It is rather fetching. Otto is lucky to have you, Clive. I doubt anything could ever replace his son. But you and the others at the Hideaway...
Otto had a son.
Long ago. Yes. Sid told me Otto lot and blamed himself for not being able to stop. I don't know how it happened. Whether there was anything he could have done. But it was clear.
I didn't know.
How could you have? I doubt anyone did. Besides Sid, I've never met a man more keen to bear his sorrows in an ill habit, given that both have always been surrounded by friends desperate to...
I'm beginning to see that.
alive?
I wasn't expecting to be, but it seems we still owe you a... and though I doubt it's what you were expecting.
A star, Ruby? It's worth at least twice what you owe me. More if you can find yourself...
Think of the difference as interest.
Interest? If word got out I charged that much, no one would ever borrow... Anyway, why are you the one here asking me about this? Bit much sending the Lord Marquis out to settle your debts, isn't it?
Something like that. Most days I think he's the...
Same as always. Back when the place was nothing but a twinkle in the eye of a recently retired Lord Commander. Probably knew that without his strong arm and level head, the idea would never get... Sid may have been the face of the hideaway, but Otto's... And when Sid passed away, we were all worried that would be the end of it. That Otto would just give it.
His death was hard on everyone. But it must have hit Otto hard.
But he didn't give up, did he? Quite the opposite, in fact. If I recall, he was the one who... I reckon what he saw in Sid, he saw in you. And don't we all? Doesn't hurt that you're half as stubborn and twite that, and you keep good company.
Gob will want to know the stones were delivered. If he's still with us. Thank you for sticking with us.
Those of us who are still here...
Can't exactly leave old Martha in the lurch.
Ambrosia won't help me here.
Ready, go? Faster!
It's certainly quiet. If I were a giant antelope, it would seem like just the place. I doubt we'll find one bigger than that. You hungry, Torgal? It's over! Now, will it be enough, I wonder? I say that answers my question, which means we owe the lawsmen our thanks. You're just a big puppy, aren't you? A very big puppy. You do know you can take that with you, Torgal. Lady Karen will be relieved to hear you've got your appetite back. Come on, boy.
Back, are ya? So, what'll it be? Not bad, if I do say so myself. That it? Fine.
I noticed. So, Molly's leftovers weren't good enough, eh? That'll teach me for treating you like you're still a pup. All right, no need to shout. Now we know what you're after, I can see about getting some in.
Speaking of which, I brought one for later.
You can, aye. In return, you can thank...
I was just on my way to see him.
Ah, were you able to locate?
We were indeed, Lawsman. You pointed us in exactly the right direction.
Very good.
Lady Karen sends her thanks, by the way.
Ah. But that reminds me. Do you recall our conversation concerning Lady Jill's role in Torgal's trap?
About how she somehow woke the...
Precisely that. A reasonable conclusion, I thought. But one which raised the Fenrir of legend served Shiva, and Shiva alone. And while the powers attributed to him are certainly impressive, the records imply they are somewhat different in nature to those...
What are you suggesting?
That Torgal may be the beneficiary of more than one Icon's power. Consider that in addition to Lady Jill, he has served as a loyal companion to you, your brother, and even the late Cid. In short, the Icons hitherto near at hand, or should I say at paw, have been diverse and plenty, and that number has only grown as the realm's dominance have fallen to your sword. One can but speculate as to how all of this has affected Torgal.
He has seemed more fierce.
And if I'm not mistaken, he will grow fiercer still. We are fortunate indeed to be able to count him amongst us.
Oh.
My knowledge is yours. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them. You wish to study the tomes?
Is that the thing Tomes helped with?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Good. So Lady Karen accepted the...
But she was just too stubborn. She threw it right back in my face, in fact, and told me I could...
Karen refused...
I hope it wasn't something I said.
I'm sure you were as tactful as ever. I mean...
Oh, wonderful.
How may I help you today, Clyde? luck out there, Sid.
Lady Karen, Goad tells me you weren't happy with our offer. Would you prefer the debt was repaid in coin?
What debt? I don't recall lending any of you lot me hard-earned gil. I may have tossed a talent or two in the Hideaway's coffers, but those were donations. And you can hardly call it charity if you go asking for it back.
Of course not. But one good turn deserves another. And our circumstances have changed. Surely you wouldn't shun the gratitude of a pauper who happened to have become a prince.
Oh, so you're a prince now, are you? Fine. But I'm selling it and taking what I'm owed, then you're getting the rest whether you like it or not. Where'd you even get this? A decent trader might nab 1,000 talents for a star ruby. A canny one, meanwhile, might claim it were nicked from the belt of Sid the Outlaw himself and ask twice as much. Might be I already have a buyer in mind. Might be you even know her. A fine continental maid whose beauty's only eclipsed by a guile in commerce. You wouldn't mind, would you?
Not at all. Just be sure to tell her that it's always a pleasure doing business.
I hear you ended up delivering all 3 stones. Thanks to this lump. I sometimes wonder what I pay you for.
Speaking of which, I still haven't been paid last month's wages.
Oh, so you remember what's owed to you then? Get your ass behind that disc of yours and don't get up before those ledgers are square.
Right away.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. It was the only goblet Sid ever used. Either out of habit, or because the filthy soul couldn't be bothered to find.
I knew so little about him.
Like most people.
Martha and the Dame both seem to have fond memories of him. How long did you know Sid before he
died? 20 summers, give or take. Back in the day, I was a purser on a trade ship. He bought passage to... forget where. And having nothing better to do, we set up drinking island rum till the morning bell dragged me back to my duties. Quit my post not long after that. On account of making a fine maiden's belly fat, but me and Sid stayed close. Promising we'd one day sail the seas again. That was... before fate stepped in. The magic woke in, and there was no hiding his knack.
Couldn't you and your family have...
My family wanted the monster taken away. I couldn't turn my back on him. Forget what I felt, and I couldn't for the life of me understand how they could. Luckily, Sid was of the same mind as me. It was him who stood beside me when all I wanted was to tell him who cried for me when I had no tears left. Him who swore he'd do everything he could. And he was true to his word, too. Left the Royal Army once and for all. Threw away everything he had. All to right a wrong that no one else had. I knew then I'd follow that man to the ends of the earth. He was always too clever for his own good, was Sid. Saw the world for what it really was, while the rest of us were content to go along with the lie we were shown. And it can't have been easy, bearing that burden alone. But he didn't let it stop him. He never lost faith in what he believed was right. And that gave us faith in him. Faith he'd steer us true. So I swore to myself that I'd always be right behind him, ready to catch the stubborn sod, if ever he should fall. But I couldn't even do that. Ignore me. Just the ramblings of a tired old man. Leave that lot. I'll tidy it up in a bit.
This is Sid's handwriting. Dear Otto.
I may be drunk, but I wanted you to know this place would be fucked without you. Love you, you grumpy old sod.
This note.
Hmm? What about it?
Sid was right. Without you, we'd all be lost.
He should have bloody well said so then. Just once. Before he went. But then, why would he? Him, or anyone? I'd only have told him to piss off. You're wrong, though. Both of you. It was never just me keeping the hideaway afloat. It was all of us. I just shoved people in the right direction. I barely seem to be able to do that anymore.
Would you rather goat at the helm?
Well, maybe I've got a few more years left in me.
I'm going to hold you to that, Otto.
Before you go, Sid would have wanted you to have this.
But that's...
This'll do me just fine. Thanks for the ray of sunshine. I'll see if I can't pay you back.
Already have.
Help you today, Clive? Come to claim your just desserts? Here you are. All done?
Mid might need some help.
All right, there's. How's that hunt for the
I have it here.
That's the stuff. And plenty of it. You're a gent, Sid. Right then. There we have the Telemon Alembic. And it worked.
Very impressive.
Says the man who cut down a burning boulder.
There's no need. The good it...
Don't be... Why don't you let me take a look at that bag of yours? The one you keep your potions in. Reckon I could work some...
What kind?
Well, we happen to have isolated a substance in our test run of the Alembic that I reckon will make... Thought we might use it to breathe new life into old boots and the like. Save the hideaway a few gil. Ah, I reckon if we slap a bit on your bag, it'll loosen it up enough for you to squeak...
Well, you can't...
That's the spirit! Leave it with me. Well, what do you reckon?
It certainly feels more flexible.
Right? Told you.
Thank you. I think.
No. Thank you for supporting Mid and the rest of us in our endeavors. Without you, we'd never have been able to do... And I'm telling you, there's plenty...
Wish I could take one of our
I went up to give some grease to...
He cracked the crystal too? You're joking.
Is it business or pleasure? It'd better all be here. You're rubbing me blind, you know. You'll not find a better price than that. It'd better all be here.
Thank you, Clive.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
All right, Clive. Asterix. We'd finished sending half the hideaway traipsing across the twins, has she? I swear, that girl'd do anything to put off visiting her old dad's grave. No excuses now, though, eh?
Not quite. She said there was one final thing she had to take care of. I'm sure she'll be finished soon enough.
She said that? In those words?
She did, yes.
Clive? Were you born yesterday or something? There is no thing. She'll probably be halfway to Canva by now.
Mid. I might still be able to catch her. Obelith, have you seen Mid?
Yep. In a boat.
Then I'm too late.
You in a hurry and all, are you? Oh, I offered to take her across, but she wouldn't wait. Just paid for a dinghy and rowed off. Oars going like the... Got some luck. But anyway, I was on my way up to see you. Got a letter for you. Urgent, by the sound of it. One of your uncle's men said I was to hand it to you in person.
Thank you, Obelith.
Don't mention it.
What tidings, Uncle? Trouble in Canva. Well, I'll need someone to keep...
So what? Mid got us to do all the dirty work and then just sailed off into the sunset?
It, seems that way.
Well, nothing we can do about it now. But next time you plan on visiting Sid, you might want to tie her to something before you suggest it.
Ah, don't be so hard on her. Gotta admit, the dirty work was kind of fun. Everyone pitching in and all that, but just like when we built this place. Anyway, we all set to head to the old hideaway. I could do with getting to Canva pretty sure. Wouldn't do to keep Lord Rosfield of the Seven High Houses waiting now, would it? Not after he asked for me.
Gav will be leaving with me. Will you mind the place while we're gone?
You can count on me. Just be sure to give Sid and the others my regards. All right.
Oh, by the way, Jill will be joining us too. She's got some things to take care of, but she'll meet us there.
I hope she's telling the truth at least. Well, Sid, I remember what you told me. That if no one is listening to what you have to say, you may as well not say it. But I will say this, old friend. Hugo Kuka is gone. His shadow looms over us no longer.
It's a pity the Phoenix can't be in two places at once. If he'd have been with us, maybe he could have done something for the lost.
Not even the Phoenix can bring people back from the dead. Life has a beginning and an end. So we must live while we have the chance. And not as slaves to the crystals, but as free men.
May we join you?
Lady Karen, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd drop by and see how you were all doing before heading off to restock my supplies. It wasn't the most scenic view back then, but it were never as bad as this.
I know. The Blight marches on. And soon, there will be no escaping sights like these. So our mission remains unchanged. We cannot stop until every Mother Crystal is gone, and their thirst for ether with them. The only one that remains in Storm is Drake's tail in the Crystalline Dominion.
Our next target.
We're going to Twinside.
It's the capital of the Empire these days. I wouldn't like to think how tightly guarded they've got the place. Not that that'll stop you, but we do well to scout it out before you go charging in.
We would indeed.
If you're off to the Dominion, you can take this great lump with you.
Goods.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you forgotten you're the most wanted man in the Twins? I thought you might like to disguise yourselves as the attendants of a travelling trader, assuming you've no better ideas. You wanted to buy yourself some tools, didn't you? Well, now's your chance.
You're letting me go with them? Oh,
want none!
Stop that! You break me bones, you great galoot! There's a caravan that runs back and forth between the Dominion and the Bocklad markets. It's managed by the Merchants Guild. Just show them Goots' traders past and you'll be on your way. It'll be a damn sight less risky than footing it the length of the Crystal Road. That's for sure.
Thank you, Karen. And glad to have you with us, Goots.
Okay then. I'll get me things and I'll meet yous there. See yous down in Bocklad.
Get off! Me poor fingers!
Jill, you're with me.
Understood.
And Gav?
Already on my way, Captain.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
Do you see that, Sid? Your protege's making a proper little outlaw of himself.
Crack the crystal too? You're joking.
Is that the thing Tomes helped with?
Mid told me she was building a ship.
Here for another of my lectures. What is it that you wish to learn? Very good.
How are you feeling?
Better. Thank. Talia.
I'm glad to hear it.
And Torgal helped too. Didn't you, boy?
This used to be a trade route for merchants crossing the Scars. Till the Republic laid a new road wide enough to let wagons pass, and all official traffic moved there.
Leaving this one for those living outside the law.
Indeed. I doubt we'll be the only outlaws on the trail today.
So what do you think?
That we'd be lucky to make it out.
Really?
Oh, aye. There's trouble up ahead.
I take it there's danger.
Oh, what about this fearsome-looking fellow?
Oh, no doubt. Well met, friend. My brother and I have been tasked with finding a merchant's missing cart.
How does a merchant misplace his cart?
Oh, the man's a coward. When he thought goblins might come a-snarling, he ran.
He sent the two of us to fetch it, but it's gone. Now, I'm not much...
My brother's right on all accounts. And by my estimation...
We may have seen our share of action, true, but we've not got the skill in arms.
You, however, have the look of a man who needn't fear a band of... Chances are they'll come for you either way. But if you promise to let...
Well, if I'm going to have to deal with them anyway...
You've clearly got a fine head.
We're lucky you came along. Now, hoping to make a heavy purse in Bocklad. Reckon he won't be forking over the rest of our fee if we don't find those...
All right.
No. You just put an end to those bandits and point us in the right direction.
I'm not sure I trust those two. But if there are bandits lying in wait, I should probably take care of them.
Look lively, you lot. We've got guests.
These must be our bandits. That's them dealt with. Now, where's that cart? Getting all of this out of him.
Seems we've found ourselves the right man.
Found the cart and didn't leave a single bastard breathing.
And how exactly will he be getting his goods?
You leave that to us. After all, it'd be wrong to make such a...
You've done your part. It's been a pleasure.
There's no need to be... What if we want his help again?
I see the Dalmex lag behind Rosaria when it comes to bridge building.
The fallen ruin should hold, at least. The path continues on the other side. So this is Zemeckis.
The land of the gods. It's even more impressive than I imagined. I remember being captivated by the story as a child.
Long, long ago, man was overcome by avarice and challenged the gods in a bid to win their power. The final battle took place here, at these falls. Or so the legend goes. If anyone ever manages to plumb those depths, perhaps we'll learn if there's any truth to the tale.
That the gods emerged victorious and punished man for his defiance by visiting upon him 2 curses.
Dominants and bearers. To tell the truth, I always thought it strange that the dominant and their icons were deemed a curse. Back home, the dominant inherited the throne. They were admired and exalted, not spurned. Whenever I got to that part of the story, I always assumed there must be something I'd misunderstood.
You had a lot of storybooks, didn't you? In your room, I mean. When we were young.
The old legends were always my favorites. Epic battles between gods and men. Father encouraged me to read as much as I could. He thought it good for my education.
You really were a boy like any other, weren't you?
Just look at this place. It's enough to make you believe the legends are true.
I know.
We're not far from Boklad. The road will be busier up ahead.
And we'll have to keep our wits about us. Clive? Something wrong?
Nothing. It's nothing.
I see the reports are true, Father. You have surrendered the throne to Olivier.
I have. Emperor Olivier
shall rebuild the Holy Empire of Sanbreque.
How is he to rule an empire? He is but a boy.
I shall advise him until he comes of age.
Father, please.
Or for as long as I am able. The empire we seek to build needs young blood to rule it, and I can think of none better suited to the task. There is other news, Dion. Hugo Kupka is dead, and Drake's Fang destroyed. The pillars of the Republic have fallen. Ere long, the Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. And then, Valisthea. All shall bow before their Emperor.
Father, these are the words of a tyrant.
They are the words of a god. The Emperor whom I gladly serve. Great Greeker, made flesh. Return to your camp, Dion, and ready your forces. It is time to show the world the true power of Sanbreque.
Father. I find you much changed. Is this truly the path you wish to tread? Or are these the ambitions of another? Of Ultima, perhaps?
What nonsense is this? I speak my mind, and my mind only. Though I do owe Annabella thanks for reminding me of certain truths regarding the nature of nations, of rulers, and of the divine.
You trust the words of this traitress? She betrayed her country. She slew her husband.
You have ever been an invaluable servant to Sanbreque, Prince Dion. I trust you will continue to serve your Emperor in the wars to come.
The canker! Silence! Insolent wretch! You will bend the knee. All else is heresy.
Sire, forgive me.
This audience is over. Come, your Radiance. The Rowena Syndicate awaits your pleasure.
Oh, not another meeting with silly old men. They're so boring. I'm hungry, Father. Can't we have luncheon instead?
Does it pain you that you will not inherit your father's throne?
I have suffered worse.
Count your blessings, Dion. For a base-born child to be chosen by Bahamut is miracle enough. You have risen high on his wings, but you shall rise no higher, lest your impure blood stain the throne.
What do you know of my blood?
The Boklab markets are to the north. We just need to hug the coast.